Hey, this is MGTV and I'm Michelle Greenman and I teach women how to create a lasting, healthy lifestyle and of course in this type of year prevent you from gaining a bunch of weight and taking off some of that extra weight that you might have. Now today I'm going to be talking about a way that you might be thinking, and you'll know because you'll be saying the words I'm going to tell you, that is going to make losing weight in this time or not gaining a bunch of weight during this holiday time super difficult. And that way of thinking is when you say things like, I don't want to waste it, or instead of throwing that in the garbage, let me eat it. So, hey, there's only one piece of fill in the blank. Let me just eat it instead of throwing it out in the garbage. Now, the reason why this is a problem is not because you're saving food, because you are not saving food. It's the fact that you are replacing a garbage can. That does nothing good for you, the way that you think about yourself or your self-worth, and it does nothing good for those around you because you're enforcing a way for them to treat you. Especially, I see this happen with children. Moms and parents all the time go to their children and say, hey, if you're not going to finish that, I'll just finish it, as opposed to throwing it in the garbage can after kids have gotten their little dirty hands all over it, right? That is crazy town. The reason why this is really bad for you is, threefold. Number one, you're stretching your stomach because you're putting too much food in it. Number two, all of the bad things that happen when you overeat, and there are a lot. It's difficult for your organs, it's difficult for you to digest that much food, sends your blood sugar super high, and then crashes it later. And the last one, of course, is the way you see yourself. You do not want to be teaching people that you are a garbage can and that they should be using you for a garbage can. This obviously opens you up to being treated in ways that are not going to make you happy and in seeing yourself as less than. Now, the problem with seeing yourself as less than and some of the issues that come up for especially women who would consider themselves women of faith is we know that we are supposed to be giving. We know that we're supposed to be taking care of other people. We know that we're supposed to be, selfless. However, many of you are giving out of your need. You need to be eating healthful food, for example, but you don't because you're accommodating somebody else around you. You need time to sleep, but you don't because you're giving that time to somebody else. You need, all of these little pieces where you need them. They are non-negotiables. If you do not get them, you will die. And all of this type of language that comes out about not wasting food and eating it instead tends towards the same type of person who is giving out of their needs and then getting really upset later about the way that they're treated or hating the way that they feel. Or worse, hating the way that they look. Now, I want to prevent that for you. So if you notice that you're saying something like, hey, let's just finish this pie, right? Instead of throwing it in the garbage, is don't throw it in the garbage. The best ways to do that is twofold. Number one, when you're eating foods that there's a lot of, cut a piece and put it in a different plate. It's going to keep you from eating it all, and it's going to keep you from contaminating the whole with your saliva, because you don't want to do that, because if it starts to break down, it's going to go bad, and then of course you feel like you need to eat it. So the way to do that is, for example, if you have like a pie, cut out a piece of pie, put it on a plate. Do not eat the pie from the pie crust, people, from that pan. When you're eating like a big meal like soup or chili or something like that, take what you want out, warm that up separately, put it into a bowl and eat it. Yes, you might be creating a few more dishes, but a few more dishes is better than 10 extra pounds. That's all I'm saying. The other way that is really helpful is after you've eaten this food and there's leftovers, do what I do. Put them in glass containers in your fridge. Now, if there's like lots and lots and lots, especially this time of year when we have, get-togethers to go to or lots of ingredients, is seal them up and put them in the freezer. Because at one point you're going to want to eat something that's going to be readily available. So, for example, my husband made chili yesterday for us that I ate for lunch, and I'm going to eat that chili tomorrow for breakfast. Breakfast done. I'm going to put the chili in a pot. I'm going to warm it up, and I'm probably going to have a salad on the side and some rice. But That's the point. You don't have to eat it all in one day. It will still be there tomorrow. And with something like chili, it actually tastes better the next day anyways. So I'm encouraging you to notice when you're thinking that way. Notice when you're thinking about throwing something out and you eat it instead. If it is something that's going to go bad, it's better off in the garbage. Your stomach is not a garbage can. And number two, don't feel like you have to eat everything in a meal. Get some containers, put it in the freezer, save it for another time. And I know some of you ladies don't want to save it if there's a little bit because you think I have a big family, but there will be times that you're going to eat by yourself. There's going to be times where your kids or somebody's going to come over or they're going to need something. And if none of those times ever come up ever in your life, this is how you give. Instead of you eating that extra food, put it in a container and give it to somebody that you know is in need. And realistically, we all know people who are either in the street somewhere or are older and, could use somebody taking care of them that way, or just are lonely sometimes and you going over to bring them something to eat and have some chatting time with them is going to be something to light up their day. But it doesn't need to go in your tummy. So I hope you guys can really hear that and get that. Be aware of your language, be aware of what you're saying. It's opening to you and showing you what can be changed and be made better. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if you haven't started already, get on my list somehow, anyhow on my website. I'll actually put a link on an easy way for you guys to do it. And join us on the Monday night training calls. They're awesome. I've been giving some awesome information and getting really good feedback from guys. So get in contact with me. All month I'm going to be sharing awesome information. And I will see you all next week. Bye.